Hey everybody, so this is our second video for Kdenlive tutorial. Today we'll be learning more about effects and keyframes, which is the most important part in any video editing software. So let's start with the effects. To add the effects, just search the effect. So we'll be starting with the basic RGB. We'll be changing the RGB values of our video. So just search for the RGB and RGB adjustment. To apply it, click on the video you want to apply it to and double click the effect. You will see the properties of the effect open in the effects/composition stack, right? So now here you can change the RGB values. Now, when we change these values, we change them for the entire video, okay? The changes will show up in the entire video. So if I move forward, now I make some changes, you can see this red and if I change it decrease the green, this changes will be applied to the entire video. So that's how you add a basic effect, but obviously we need to go more complex than that. We don't need the same effect on the entire video, right? I want to, let's say, change the colors. I'm gonna start with pure red. I'm gonna start with pure red, then I'm gonna go with pure blue, and then I want to go with pure green, let's say. After that, I want to go with pure green. If I want to do that, now we'll do that with help of keyframes. So now what are keyframes? If you remember Flash, I'm sure you have studied Flash. There to create an animation, we used to create keyframes, right? So we would tell Flash the position of our object and Flash would automatically animate it between the two positions, right? That's basically what we will be doing. We will give it a timestamp where we want the green to be, let's say, 100. Then the video editor itself will slowly transition towards that. I'll show you an example. So let's say at the start, I'll go to the start. Here, I'll go to the start. Here I want it to be pure red. Okay, I'll add pure red. Okay, now what if I want it to be at this 3 minute and 46 second mark? I want here it to be green. So now how I make it green? So what I will do, I'll add a keyframe here, which will tell the video editor that I need it to be green at this frame. It will automatically transition between the red and green. Okay, so how to add a keyframe? You see the clock icon here? This one, add keyframe. Okay, now we click on this keyframe. Clicking on it is important. If it's not highlighted, we won't be changing the properties of the keyframe rather than the whole video. So remember to click on the keyframe. Now we can change our values. We'll make it completely green. Okay, so now if I play it, okay, so this is our first keyframe, which is red. This is our second keyframe, which is green. Now I'll play it. So you can see the transition. It will just play out.
Indeed.
So it
It is
starts as
called
red,
Lothric, where the
and now
transitory
it's
lands
slowly
of the Lords
transitioning
of
away from
Cinder
red.
converge.
You can see the colors slightly change because you see now it became
In
like a bit
venturing
yellowish,
north,
first orangish, then yellowish. Now
the
it's becoming a
pilgrims
little lime
discover
green.
the truth
It
of the
and
old
completely
words.
transitions to green, right? It automatically did that itself. Now sometimes it can be hard finding the timestamps here. So you see where we added the keyframes, this little part. This is also a small timeline in itself. You can also scrub your video from here. As you can see, you can add keyframes directly from here. You need not scrub your video on the main timeline. So now let's say in between this red and green, I want to add a blue. Okay, I'll add a keyframe and add a lot of blue to it. Okay, You can also make these changes interactively. That means you see these small dots. Yes, you can actually change them, and that will change the value of your RGB as well. Okay, so that we either you can type the values here or you can manually change them by interacting with the dots. So now if I play them, you'll see it starts with the reddish,
where the
it
transitory lens of
goes
the
into a
Lords of
purplish
Cinder
pinkish shade while it
converge.
transitioning into blue, and then it will, let me just forward it a bit, and after transitioning from blue it will
Let the
slowly
Lords
transition
go
into
without
green.
thrones.
So that's your basic keyframing and using transitions, right? So now what if you want to just change 2 seconds of a clip to, let's say, blue? Okay, you just want that 2 seconds of clip to change to blue. So first of all, if we need just 2 seconds, we'll have to zoom in. Okay, just zoom in. You can see the different time steps. So just zoom in appropriately. You can zoom in quite a bit. So just because this is a professional software for editing longer length movies and stuff, so you can also zoom out and zoom in. So just don't be afraid to zoom in. Okay, and remember it zooms in where your scrubber is. It won't zoom into another part. So it won't zoom in where your mouse cursor is, but rather where your scrubber is. Keep that in mind. So now imagine if I want this from 333 to 336 to be purple. Let's say purple. Okay. So, and I don't want a gradient. I don't want a curve where it changes. I just want a quick change just for 2 seconds. How do you do that? Take the scrubber where you want the transition to start and cut the video from there. Go where you want to end the transition and cut the video. Now, select the video that we've cut off and we can edit it separately. We can edit it separately. So, if you select the first keyframe, that will change for the entire video. Okay, but now you see that this one has one in the beginning and one in the end. Why is that? When we first added it, there was only one. Why is that? Because we cut a part of a clip which already had an effect on it. Okay, if it already has an effect, as you can see, the cut clip also shows that blue thing, right? It shows that it has the effect applied. So for this cut clip, if you can change make changes in this as well, or you can change the effect, like delete it and just add it again. This time, see, there's only one keyframe for the entire video. So select this and I want it to be purple. So now if I go here, I play it, it's transitioning, then suddenly purple, back to the transition. Okay, so we can use this to instantly transition between effects. If you don't want a slow gradient, we can also, let's like choose, my bad, choose another effect. So let's go with hmm, brightness. Like you can see the keyframeable word there. Yes, otherwise there are some effects that are not keyframeable that will be applied to the entire section of the video and you cannot keyframe it. Okay, so like the RGB, it was keyframeable, we were able to change the RGB value. But a filter like grayscale, okay, a filter like grayscale which only has one setting, it changes the video to gray, this won't have a slider. Okay, but now if you want to slowly move your clip from color to black and white, then the filter or the effect you will use is called saturation. Saturation is the strength of the color, and you use saturation. Oh, sorry, don't forget to click on the video before adding the effect. And saturation lets you change the intensity of color. Okay, with this you can use keyframes to make your video look like it's slowly turning into black and white. Okay, but right now we're not going to use saturation. We'll use, let's just choose another one. Mm, hmm, Brightness, yeah, brightness, right? you're about to do brightness. So click on brightness. The effect is added below our RGB one. Okay, here. So now first we can just change the brightness for the entire clip. Okay, this changes it for the entire clip, or like we did earlier, you can add keyframes. So let me just zoom out. Let me add one here. I'll add a keyframe, select the keyframe, change the brightness. Go here, add another keyframe, decrease the brightness. Like I told you, you can decrease and increase the brightness with these small dots as well. Okay, so now if I play it, let's just increase this. You can see the brightness increases at the peak, then starts decreasing. Okay, simple enough, I believe. Now there are a lot of effects. I don't have time to show you all the effects, but some like RGB, brightness, volume, I think so these are pretty easy to understand at first. Then zoom, zoom is also pretty easy. Grayscale is pretty easy. Then fade in, fade out, these are pretty easy. Then there are some which we use to merge two videos together. Like we hide a part of a video to overlap with another video. Okay, that is a very high level technique. We won't be learning that here today. Okay, we use that with alpha, mask, and keying. This is a very high level concept which we won't be covering in this course at all. If you want to learn, you can go on the course online. There are plenty of courses for Kdenlive, and you can learn there. So I already have another one ready for you. So here in the Elden Ring part, if you remember, were transitioning between the Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3 trailer, right? That was the Dark Souls 3 trailer. So in this Elden Ring trailer, what the effects I've added are. So let me just zoom in. Okay. So you can see first one I have position and zoom and saturation. Next one I have position, zoom, saturation, and I have a bit of audio down there. You can see 55%. That's I've also added an audio filter. Okay, and the first one you can see, oh, let me see, crop, scale, and tilt. I've also cropped, tilted the picture a bit. Okay, so this I just did it in 5 minutes, so it's not a very high quality edit. It's just to show you how effects work. So now if I play it, you'll see here
To be born.
it zooms in to the character being pierced by the Valkyrie, and it turns into black and white. And I have added another audio file to play behind it. You can add different audio files. You can add more channels if you want to deal with more audio files or more video files. Okay, it does that. And after that, I added a slow transition to the other part because I was not a fan of the direct transition. So you can mix and match various different effects, transitions, different videos to create a very nice looking edit. Okay, so that is all for this one. If you have any issues, just contact me. You can my email is in the description. You can also comment on the video. I'll reply to those. But that's it for this video. Thank you.